we were talking about, Nigeria's values, home and abroad, and how they've been brotherly, among themselves and do not allow people from outside the country to bully them. But then national values are discipline. Discipline are taught right from primary schools. I remember back in the day in home economics, civic education, social studies, and all of that. But, through primary schools, secondary school, and tertiary institutions, is this aspect of the curriculum still emphasized in schools?
Well, I want to believe that you still have it, although at the time I learned that they attempted to erase the teaching of history. And if you don't know your history, you will not know your national values.
They took it off at a point.
At a point, I'm sure they have studied it now. Because
a
nation that does not know its history cannot have any future.
Absolutely.
That's just it. And that perhaps explains why we have all this rubbish now. Because if a Nigerian knows what it took Nnamdi Azikiwe, what it took Obafemi Awolowo, what it took Ahmadu Bello to fight and stand for our independence, what it cost the great Enahoro when he moved that motion for Nigerian self-independence, then they want to protect and say that if our leaders have actually had this kind of trauma, we must not allow our freedom to be eroded. But since they are no longer being taught, they will not know the importance of that. And that explains why we must actually go back to the grassroots and know our history. Our national values are not eroded. The idea is just that some of our younger ones now, they have this thinking that Nigeria is not a place it's not a country they should die for, in quotes, forgetting that east or west, home is the best. If you go out of this country, you will appreciate the fact that you're a Nigerian. There is kind of something in another country, in other areas, maybe like in UK, go to a place like Canada, they want to step in there, and you have any problem, you will see someone who tell that, please telephone the president of Nigerian Students Association. And that president, someone that I happen to know, will always take you on. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and call assist you to settle. The same in America, some of these places in America, the same also in UK, but not as widely spread as you have it in USA or you have it in Canada. But that is understandable. UK economy is like Nigerian economy. It's actually we're better than the economy is better than theirs. It's just that our money that has actually nosedived. By the time the value of naira gets is properly addressed, you know that Nigerian naira has a lot of strength. So the point is that government must do everything possible to bring back this culture of patriotism. The younger ones must see government has been there for them. If government is not seen that way, it will not engender that interest. So let government be seen as being there. Let young ones know that it's the only country we have, and everything must be done to protect the image of the country. Therefore, punctuality, honesty, being hardworking,
sense of time,
diligence, and being frugal. Most of us are not frugal with utilities. The way we destroy public property, I can't imagine someone going to a public bus stop and defecating there. Knowing full well that's not a public toilet. So the point is that we only have a lot to do, but a lot of work has to be done by NOA. Let NOA wake up from the slumber. Let there be jingles here and there in different languages. Show examples. Show that it's not good to drop a bottle of something on the road. Show that it's not good to drop the wrapper of your body on the road. Show that people that Nigerians can survive it, but without going abroad. Show these jingles and rekindle their interest. And their passions will be there, and they'll be committed to that country called Nigeria.
I saw a video on social media last night, which was posted by one of those bloggers, of a man who parked somewhere, and then he's in Port Harcourt, according to the blogger. And some thieves, some robbers, just came to rob the man, and the carjackers, they snatched the car and went off. People were now reacting, saying that, listen, the man ought not to have parked there. Or if he had parked there, he should have got into his car and, drove off almost immediately, since he knows that, that place might not be safe, all of that. And others are saying, come on, listen, where I parked my car, as long as it's not in the middle of the road, how long I tarry for in my car should not be the problem. Why don't you speak to those who had come to rob me of my belongings, of my property? Where do we miss it here again? Because where people are supposed to be blaming the perpetrators of crime, but they'll be blaming the owner. I remember in Yoruba language, you know, when they say, I can't really remember the expression, but they will be blaming you, the
Yes.
owner, why you
Especially
left
in
it somewhere.
Ibadan.
I don't want to mention. Because I picked my wife from Ibadan.
Okay, please, our wife,
let us
our wife, that's withdrawn. Please
So
stay with
you,
you.
you understand the point that I'm making. So exactly where do we miss it here too? Because where we are supposed to, put the blame, we'll take it to the one who is the victim.
Well, interestingly, what we find on social media, a lot of it I don't take very seriously, because I have found that a lot of people say what they say on social media. So there are different groups of people. Some say it for their engagement. So some like to be contrarians. Even if you tell them that this is black, they say, no, it's not black, it's beige, brown, baked in soda water, something. So they just want to be contrarians so that you can react, okay, so they can get engagement. Some people are really just disingenuous, and some people are honestly and harmlessly just not that bright, okay? They just don't know better.
That's right.
All right? So there are different people, there are different groups of people. But in terms of speaking to our core and what we stand for, I believe that, unfortunately, we live in a time where even when you have to say the truth, a lot of dissenting voices will want to shoot you down, they'll want to silence you, especially on social media. And this is not just a Nigerian thing now, it's a global thing, where everybody knows that this is this, and you dare go against the grain, and people come for you. And frankly speaking, some of us don't really want a headache, because like I tell people, personally, I don't engage in anything political on social media. If you want to know my views on anything, I'm on these platforms every other week. So tune in. If you don't tune in, fine. But I'm not going to be engaging with somebody that is not even interested in either learning or having an honest conversation, because you'd find that even people that should know better and do know better, they are just being disingenuous because they want to appeal to a certain type of audience so they can get certain types of engagement. And I'm not going to let you farm engagement off me when I have things to do with my time. So that's not going to happen. So yes, in terms of our values, it's something that we need to look at, and more importantly, from the home. From the home. That's where we say charity begins from. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of our value systems from the homes. Back then, I mean, we don't hear it again, so I'll still say back then. They used to say, remember the son of whom you are. Now we don't hear it anymore. Where we also have a proverb that says that your son is not a dry cleaner, but he comes home with clothes every day. So you know that, okay, your son is, his trouser size is waist 32. The trouser he saw in his room is waist 40. Jeans, another one is waist 38. He's not a dry cleaner. You don't need a prophet to tell you that your son is a thief. So, unfortunately, these things have been eroded, and they are no longer there in our society. They're no longer there in our homes. And I believe that that's where we really do need to begin this particular orientation from, where people also need to know that remembering the son of whom you are means that you don't damage the family name. Now people don't even care. You have parents who are even the ones who are encouraging their children to go into cybercrime and all sorts of
They even have
vices.
Association of
Parents
of
these funny folks. So from the home, that's where we need to address this particular position from.